This is the first video for the Matrices unit covering the topic dimensions and elements. In other words, your basic what is a matrix and some vocabulary involved in that. In mathematics, a matrix is a rectangular array of information, usually numbers, used to represent information. Now you're going to see this a lot as we go throughout the unit. We're going to use matrices to represent situations that in algebra class we would have represented with linear equations. So there are a lot of applications for matrices because with very large systems of linear equations, it is simpler to use a matrix and a computer to solve. So here we have a matrix. We call this matrix A. We name matrices with capital letters. So this is matrix A. And we always name with capital letters. Matrix A has two rows, row 1 and row 2. That is, this entire row is row 1, this is row 2. And it has 3 columns, column 1, column 2, and column 3. This is column 1, column 2, column 3. In other words, we can represent this information. Each piece of information in this matrix is called an element. Okay? We'll just name one of these right now. Let's say element 1, 3. That would be this 2. Because it's coming from matrix A. So we use a lowercase a to tell us what matrix it's coming from. And then this subscript tells us the location. The first number tells us our row number. It's in row 1. The second number tells us our column location. It's in column 3. So the element in row 1, column 3 of matrix A is 2. So this number here, -1, would be in row 2, column 1. The 0, that's in row 2, column 2, etc. Now as for dimensions, the dimensions is a way of listing the number of rows and the number of columns. Matrix A has 2 rows and 3 columns, so we would call it a 2 by 3 matrix. Again, that is always listed number of rows times number of columns. Alright, so let's look at some example problems of what you're going to see on the homework. The bottom section of the homework is going to ask you to state the dimensions of a couple of different matrices. So matrix A, I'm not sure that might be the same matrix from the previous page, but it has the same dimensions. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. So we would say it is a 2 by 3 matrix because it has 2 rows and 3 columns. Matrix B is a 2 by 2 matrix because it has 2 rows and 2 columns. So that's how we always have to think about this. We always list the number of rows first and then the number of columns. Alright, the bottom section here is asking us to identify elements. Again, the letter will tell us what matrix we're working with. So for the first one, we're looking at matrix A. The numbers will then tell us the row number and the column number. So we're looking for the information that is located in matrix A, row 2, column 3. So go to matrix A, we locate row 2, column 3, that would be 5. On the next one we have A sub 1, 1. So that's in matrix A, row 1, column 1. So row 1, column 1, that would be 4. Now we get a subscript B that tells us matrix B, row 1, column 2. Matrix B, row 1, column 2, that is a 1. Now usually people are okay with this until they see one like our next example, B1, 3. That's telling us to look at matrix B, row 1, column 3. Let's go to matrix B, we locate row 1, but there is no column 3. It does not exist. If it doesn't exist, then we answer with the null symbol. Remember, in this case, matrix B does not have 3 columns. So this answer does not exist, which means that we are giving the null symbol, or empty set. So B2, 3, that's matrix B, row 2, column 3. Row 2, same problem, there is no column 3. So we would simply answer with the null symbol. And B, matrix B, row 2, column 2, that would be negative 3. That is all you need to know for your first homework assignment. That is how to give the dimensions, always go row by column, and how to state an element. The lowercase letter will tell you what matrix, the row number, and the column number.